Heyo everybody, Mr.G here. As I've explained before I was a YouTuber, I made digital art, where I made sort of... I'm using my past self's words here, don't get mad at me. Protest art. Yeah, that's really what I called it. About a certain web show about versus debating. Looking back at it, a lot of these pictures are... not the best. But hey, you know what they say, the more you draw, the better at it you get, so... I'm glad I drew these things. I feel like they're good practice for later on, and some of them told me what not to do in drawing, and what I can and can't do when I draw, and they told me what looks good in my art style and what doesn't. So, as a treat to you guys, I'm showcasing them all off today. I drew a picture for every matchup. Well, most of them. I'll explain which ones I didn't do when we get to them. All the way up to Season 8-ish. But before we get into this, I have a few disclaimers. Number one, a lot of these are pretty embarrassing. But hey, they say it takes guts to laugh at yourself. That sounds like something people say, I don't know. Number two, I apologize to fans of some of these characters because a lot of these drawings are very out of character. I would often refuse to do research on the characters I drew, or I made assumptions based on the character I did know, and I just assumed they must have been similar in personality, or, in some cases, as we'll see later, powers. So, just look out for that, and I apologize if you're a fan. Number three, the characters will be labeled so I don't have to explain who they are. It'll have their name and what series they're from, so you can just look them up if you want to know more. And number four, for pictures marked of a smiley face, that means that I wasn't actually drawing them for the series that they were a part of, but rather they were either drawn for another series that only retroactively became part of that series, or I drew them just for fun and then they became a real fight. Well, now that we got that out of the way, let's look at my embarrassing old art, shall we? Now, this was the first fight, but it wasn't my first drawing. I drew it relatively late into the series. I think it holds up pretty well, mostly because I didn't have to actually draw any faces. And, that xenomorph, what was I going for here? Why is it smiling? It looks more like it's going to a Kiss concert than a vicious creature. By the way, do these two really need to team up to take it down? I mean, I'm pretty sure both of them would just blow up a xenomorph in like 5 seconds. Do they really need to team up for this? Maybe they were teaming up for something else and just got jumped by a xenomorph. Who knows? Oh boy, this one. You might be wondering why there's a big censor box, and it's because I don't think I'll be, able to, it's because it was originally labeled something that I don't want to share with my viewers, since I know a lot of you are pretty young, but let's just say it's one of those things, if you know, you know. It's, let's just say it's something that a lot of my subscribers are always complaining about. Okay? Yeah, I did same series ones too, I don't know why either, because at that point it's just fan art, not even a crossover. But anyway, here we have a Goomba and Koopa Troopa watching a movie. Not much to say here. I just hate how this picture is off-center. And also, how are those windows supposed to be used by them? It's way taller than either of them, and... whatever, I'm overthinking things. And why would they have a picture of a star? Wouldn't that be like the Mario enemy equivalent of having a picture of a nuke in your house? Okay, I'm overthinking things again, I'm sorry. Not much to say here. It's just two guys watching TV. Yeah. Not sure what it has to do with them specifically, but as we'll quickly see, sometimes I had no idea what to do with some characters, so I just tossed them into generic scenarios that could be applied to anyone. Yeah, like I said of Goomba and Koopa, at this point this is just fan art. I don't know why I drew a picture for this matchup. I mean, at this point, this is just fan art. And yeah, I know they're recolors, but to be fair, for the longest time, the Ninja Turtles were all recolors anyway, so really, can you blame me? Also, I love the pizza box. No logo or anything. It's just a poorly drawn pizza. Like, what kind of pizza place is that? That seems like a place that would money launder. It's just, pizza. We have pizza. Don't look in the back. Pizza. This was an earlier one at the drawing a Ninja Turtle, so that's why it looks a bit off. Anyway, it's just two reptiles in a pond or something. You get it because turtles and toads, like, water, except a lot of toads are dry land. Well, it made sense at the time, okay? I still get a kick out of this one. Imagine one day you wake up and staring you in the face is like a cartoony looking human. That's basically what's going on here, and I kinda like it. And I like how patient Yoshi is about the whole thing. While Riptor's over here just going, what is that thing? Yoshi just seems complacent in it. Catnap, not much else to say here. Demigod Throwdown. Yeah, I mostly made these to show characters being friends, but then again, I guess I was like, well, okay, they can be friends with each other, but they could still kick other people's butts, I guess. I don't know. So here we have a Demigod Throwdown, I guess. Does Spawn even count as a demigod? I don't know. And also, come to think of it, does Disney's Hercules even count as a demigod? I know he's called that in the movie, but both of his parents were gods, and I know the mythological Hercules was a demigod, but Disney's Hercules, yeah, he was born to two gods, so why would he be a whatever. Also, they're just in the middle of a city, not even in like a pantheon or something, or anything more regal, they're just in the middle of a city. Why? Good question. Yes, the one where Bomberman and Dig Dug have become the destroyer of worlds. This is still the stupidest matchup they've ever done. Okay, I know this looks bad, but the idea I had was that, like, Shadow got kidnapped and is forced to be a pet. Okay, that's worse. Oh my, that's worse. Okay, there's no way to make this look good. Why did I do this? This was the first one I ever drew. Yeah, looking back, it has some weird things, like Mario's face, and Sonic, he's kind of fine, but he looks stretched out. And those legs look like you just snap them right off. But hey, this was the first one I drew, and yeah, I still kind of like it. Yeah. You know, funny story, when I was first publishing these, I didn't actually say they were responses to that show. Basically, I was just like, oh, they're crossover friendships, haha. It wasn't until I got to Bomberman and Dig Dug that I finally confessed what it was, since that's a matchup that people really only think about in context of that show. Most of the other stuff I did, they were like common crossover things, but that one, yeah, that's something that no one ever thinks about together unless it's in the context of that show, so I couldn't really hide it at that point. I didn't do Justin Bieber versus Rebecca Black because I refused to draw real people. A giant lightsaber. Not much else to say here. Luke looks like a fish. I hate drawing horses a lot, but this one I think it turned out alright. Yeah, back in 2020, everyone was like, oh, Doom and Animal Crossing are coming out on the same day, so I was like, oh, okay, I could do something with that, so I drew this, and so Master Chief is also here, because why not, and I guess they're living together on the island or something, I don't know exactly. Also, why did I give Isabelle blush cheeks? Does she have that? This one's simple, but I kind of like it. Although I do wish I made the robot look more like a hybrid between the two series, because at this point, it looks more like a Sonic enemy than a Mega Man one, so I wish in hindsight I could have edited the robot to look more Mega Man-ish alongside the Sonic-esque parts, but whatever. Back in the day when I tried to draw necks, before I realized that I hate drawing necks. Anyway, not much else to say here. It's just princesses drinking tea. And they also have necks. Why did I ever think necks were a good idea? Hey look, it's someone lifting up Thor's hammer. Wow, what an original idea. Sure hope we don't see any more of that. This one, I forget the context to it. Why are they at a bar? Why is Cloud crying? I don't know. I don't care. I still kind of like this one. It's just Spider-Man taking a picture of Batman for the papers. You know how it is. Also, I tried giving Spider-Man webbing at first, the black webbing he has on his suit, but I decided against it because I couldn't get it to look right, so he's just blank, except for the red and the blue patch. You know what I mean. I still like this one, mostly because Pikachu just does not seem to know what's going on here. Although, I will say, Pikachu looks like a bean. And for the most controversial one of them all, is it still that? I don't know. Here we have a fusion between Superman and Goku. I don't know what advantage they get from this. Also, I guess it changes the letter on Superman's emblem. Yeah, I guess that's how it works. More info on the guy they're fighting later, but you could probably already figure it out based on the glove. And for this one, I just decided to do a classic Lion King reference, because lion, well, alien that looks like a lion. I don't know Thundercats lore all that much, but honestly, does anyone who's under the age of 40 even care? Exactly. Okay, so gonna be honest, matchups where I knew nothing about the characters, either of them were, easily the hardest ones to come up with. So for this one, it's just them drinking tea at a lakeside. What does that have to do with them? Good question. Believe me, these ones where I knew nothing about either character, they're only gonna get worse. Alright, I actually still like this one because, well, probably not since Bucky's probably the most obscure character they've ever used on this show, but anyway, the main bad guys of a series are frogs, and in the actual episode, he ends up killing Slippy because he's a frog, so I thought in this Fox introduces Slippy to Bucky to show him that not all frogs are bad, something like that. I like the idea, okay? Okay. This one's simple, but I kind of like it. It's RoboCop and Terminator putting a parking boot on someone who violated it. Tried to make the car look like a DeLorean to make it like a Back to the Future reference, but I don't think it came through enough. But I just like the idea of these two just being casual officers, like, you're outside of your something, you're under arrest. I just like the idea of the Terminator being a police officer. Just imagine it being like, you went 40 over the speed limit. Now you have a ticket. I can't do an Arnold voice. I'm sorry. This was the second picture I drew. Yeah, I mostly did the Mario and Sonic trilogy first. So, yeah, not bad, but Tails bleed into his body. I feel like they should have been separated a bit. And Luigi, what is that pose? He's never flown like that with a cape. Also, pretty gutsy to spend the entire time looking down. That takes some real guts there. Again, I am not sure why I did ones with the same franchise, because, like I said, it's not a crossover, but here are the Kanto starters and they all got eggs. Yay. Godzilla and Gamera having a barbecue. What are they cooking? Who knows? They probably finally killed him. Who is him? Good question. Batman and Captain America do a handshake. Pretty simple, but it's fine. Except for their weirdly small arms. Again, why did I do this? I didn't feel like drawing Deadpool a bunch of times, so I just drew all of his opponents in one image. They're having a party. Well, most of them are having a party. Certain someone was a pretty grumpy ghost who had to be tied down to be invited, but, I still like this one a lot. Mostly because Kirby canonically just has the ability to throw things at you that make you good, so let's just imagine that happened here. Didn't I tell you that ones where I knew nothing about either character, but were terrible? I guess they're supposed to be cleaning their swords here? Yeah, that's definitely something they needed to do together. Yeah! I am so sorry to any fans of characters from franchises I know nothing about. I know I said that already, but it bears repeating. 2 Terrakinetics build a giant sandcastle. Probably should zoom this one out more so you could really see it or something. I don't know. I didn't do the Chuck Norris one because, like I said, I don't draw real people. Oh, by the way, I only drew one picture for each matchup, so even if it had 2 battles, I only drew one picture, so rematches and remakes don't count towards the total. Here we have another one where I knew nothing about either character, so I was just like, okay, what's something they could do? And then I was just like, okay, they could just stand there in the middle of whatever this is. Even I forget what they're supposed to be doing here. What are those blue things? Are those cabbages? Are they fighting a horde of evil cabbages? Oh, man. Yeah, we gotta bring out the big guns. It's a horde of evil cabbages! Watch out! Ugh. Okay, this one needs some context. Okay, so basically, DC once made like this encyclopedia thing that was like a dictionary, and for the entry on 40, they had a segment that was like, Lex Luthor stole 40 cakes. He stole 40 cakes. That's as many as 2 20s. Or was it 20 cakes and 2 tens? I forget. But anyway, then it just ended with, and that's terrible. Yeah, he just stole cake for no reason, and it just needs to remind you that's terrible. So I was like, okay, what if he stole cake and then gave it to Iron Man? That's kind of funny. Yeah. Okay, so basically, in the lore of gargoyles, it said that gargoyles turned to stone during the day, so I had this idea where these two were having a philosophical discussion, but then the sun came up, so, statue, and so now Beast is sad about it, or something like that. This one, I guess they're infiltrating that guy's base. That guy's not supposed to be anyone, he's just a typical mobster. With piles of green stuff that's probably supposed to be money. Probably should have added lines to it, because now it just looks like he has green Lego blocks. Okay, Darth Vader first off. I probably shouldn't have made that area gray, probably should have just made his entire head black, but what can you do? Anyway, this is one of those things that, you ever have that moment where you draw something or write something, and because you get it, you expect everyone to get it? Yeah, this was like that for me. Basically, what's supposed to be going on here is that the Emperor has managed to take control of Doctor Doom alongside Darth Vader, so now he has 2 henchmen. How did he do that? I don't know. I don't think Doom would ever intentionally work for anyone. But, that's just what I drew. You get what you get, you know? I don't like Donkey Kong's eyes, though. He looks like a soul eater. Yeah, back scratcher, you know, because Wolverine has the claws so he could, like, scratch. Also, I'm pretty sure Raiden's hair is supposed to be white. Or longer than that, anyway. What is that hair? Why did I do that? Anyway, Raiden was kind of a pain to draw because he's such a detailed character, so I really had to oversimplify him, and yeah, you can already tell looking at him. And again, what is with that hair? Yes, this fight, the second most controversial one. People would not shut up about this fight, and sometimes it felt like they were taking it personally, like they did it just to spite them, specifically, which, let me give you some advice. Never assume that something was made specifically to spite you, unless it was straight up confirmed that it was, in which case, yeah, go ahead. If you react that way, it just makes you seem self-entitled, you know, like, the world revolves around me mindset, everything must appeal to me. So yeah, never take media personally, that's my advice. And not much else to say here. Astro Boy's hair kind of blends in because the city is very close to being black. Also, his hair is weirdly hard to draw from the side. Yeah. Also, if you don't recognize Mega Man, he's wearing his armor that he wears called the Super Adapter. Yeah. For as much as I don't like this show, I will give him credit for somehow managing to figure out who would win between these two. If I was in charge, then this whole thing to me would just seem like trying to figure out who would win, a guy with a pistol or a guy with a pistol. So, I gotta give him kudos for managing to figure this out, because honestly, these two have basically the same powers, so how they managed to figure it out, I will forever be impressed by that. Okay, so for the series finale for Season 2, I split it in 2. One for the traders, and one for the Pokemon themselves. You know, I have considered doing a Monsters of the Mind on Digimon, but 1, it's a lot more niche than Pokemon, and 2, I know nothing about Digimon, so that seems like a bad idea on principle. Yeah, I don't know why they're burning something in this image, and, Bayonetta looks like Vector from Despicable Me. Oh yeah! Really, was there anything else I could do with these two? I guess, Bowser's hair looks a little funky. Or something like that, I don't know. But other than that, this is fine. Now this one is fun, because I basically had to draw 4 characters because it was a 2-on-2, so yeah. Here we have the PlayStation All-Stars just eating at a diner, I guess. Yeah, another generic one, but meh, I kinda like how it turned out. Flash looks fine, but as you can see with Quicksilver, I was still trying to draw necks. Why did I think necks were a good idea? Also, his head looks like a fish. Also, if you can't tell what's going on, basically it's a joke about how Flash is like able to run faster than the speed of light and even time, and Quicksilver can just barely break the sound barrier. So it's like he's running effortlessly on a, I guess, super speed treadmill, while Quicksilver's struggling to keep up. Yeah, it was funnier in my head. This one turned out fine. Yeah, I like how this one turned out. It's pretty simple and to the point. Basically, Joker got a new partner. So, yeah, that's basically all I gotta say here. This one also turned out fine, I just wish it was centered. Also, yeah, something I've been needing to bring up, when I was drawing these, I had a weirdly hard time drawing floors, so I always made them go up, like, ridiculously high and take up, like, half the screen. Yeah, luckily I've learned to stop doing that. I didn't do any of the red versus blue fights because I know nothing about that show, and I didn't feel like getting involved in their blatant self-promotion. This one's kind of fun. It's the two of them playing, some sort of online game together. This one I like purely for the background detail. I decided to fill up the background a bit. Like, over there you got Mr. Krabs saying no refunds. I just find that funny, because why is that just randomly there? And also, they're playing Donkey Kong because, they use hammers. Mario in that game uses a hammer. Yeah, you get it. Also, I guess Donkey Kong is 2-player now. Yay! This was a pain to figure out something for, because hero versus villains are probably the hardest ones to make up something for. Like, why would a good guy be friends with a bad guy? Especially in this scenario. The Hulk will basically kill anything he sees if he's ticked off enough, and Doomsday was literally programmed to kill anything that's living, so of course they would kill each other. So I thought and really thought it over. So I was like, you know what? Maybe this shouldn't be a friendship. Maybe like Doomsday died and now his soul haunts the Hulk or something. Yeah, that's what I came up with. Here we have two swordsmen fighting a bunch of skeletons, I guess. Does really constitute them coming together. Pretty sure either of these guys could have taken out the whole swarm by themselves, but I guess working together makes it easier or something. Why skeletons? That's a good question. Alright, this one's pretty simple but effective. I just don't like the arms. I don't like the arms in a lot of these things. I think I should just stop bringing that up now. Also, I brought Indiana Jones into this because it just seemed right. They found a whole pile of treasure. They can definitely share. Yeah, 2 treasure hunters in a row, but don't blame me, blame them. Anyway, they found a treasure, and I guess they're either gonna race for it or, I don't know, work together to get it. Maybe there's, like, a lot of traps or something. Yeah, I don't know, but point is, they're here. Venom symbiote takes over Bane. Yeah, I know, this is, like, the most obvious thing I could have done, but, yeah, I think it works. Like, maybe they could fuse together and now Venom could use the steroids to become, like, stronger or something. I don't know if it would work on him, but yeah, I don't know. It seemed cool. Would a campfire really impress people with pyrokinesis? That's a good question. And I don't know the answer. 2 cryokinetics making a snowman. I actually like how I added the snowflakes this time around, so it's like it's snowing. Did they do the snow themselves? Who knows? This one took me way too long to think of something for because I just couldn't have any ideas. Eventually I was like, okay, they could stop a nuke. I know either of them could have done this by themselves, but again, I was really struggling for ideas, so give me a break. Yeah, this one, I had a backstory, but I forgot it. But point is, they're both damaged, so now they gotta get repaired because, robots. Yeah. Alright, I like this one. It's just the two of them meditating. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I like it. Alright, I quite like this one. It's just a friendly boxing match. I even threw Little Mac in here. Why not? Alright, I decided to combine these 2 fights together because why not? They're both like samurais, except apparently Shredder's not actually a samurai. He just looks like one, so oops, I guess. And they're eating sushi. Because why not? Why not? Why not? Okay? Why not? That's just my answer to everything, okay? Why not? Okay, I've shared this one before, so I'm going to be brief here. Basically, blah, 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 I had a hard time coming up with Eric's design, blah, 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 drew this picture, blah, 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 so that's Eric. Well, not Eric, that's Proto-Eric. Eric would never burn down a forest, okay? Okay. Hey, didn't we already see this picture? Nah, I'm kidding, I drew this one first, but yeah, you could probably tell I didn't really have much ideas about what to do with Thor. Also, his arms are weird and he looks like a fish. Why did I ever draw mouths from the side like that? For some reason, I decided to do an anime hair joke, you know. Well, a lot of anime characters have spiky hair, so I did it with these two for some reason. I don't really know why they're at a barber shop. What does that have to do with the joke? But I guess it made sense at the time, but yeah, whatever. Okay, for this one I was trying to do like the opposite of the Batman vs. Spider-Man thing where they're both taking pictures of each other. But now that I've seen Across the Spider-Verse, I know that Miguel is a fully grown man now taking a picture of a teenager. What is wrong with you? Here we have two bad guys drowning their sorrows, I guess. Why did I pick these two to do this? Good question. I think I was trying to have lore, but who knows? Yeah, I was trying to have lore, but I forget where I was going, and I guess I was trying to have, every character exists simultaneously, but yeah, I scrapped that. Besides, I already had the Land of Myths idea in my head, and that was just a lot more cohesive instead of trying to cram in every single character that ever existed in one universe, because yeah, that would make sense. I guess the bar's owned by Bowser since his face is on the mugs or something, I don't know. Yes, Batman buying vibranium. You know, the glowing metal, you know, usually not sold in chunk form, and I'm sure it would cost a lot more than what's ever in that sack, especially for that much. I told you I didn't do much research, didn't I? Alright, this one's kind of fine. To this day, I like how I did both of their levitating effects, but I think I made Twilight look too much like a generic unicorn. You thought this was going to be the matchup, but it was me, Dio, who looks nothing like him. He's just a generic blonde guy and he's out in the sun and doesn't have fangs just by being a vampire. Shut up! Not much to say here. Quite simple, but I like it. Just giving a ride. Yeah, that's nice. This was one of the earliest ones I drew, and what I was going for was that they're reading books of their inspirations. You know, Sora's from Disney, so he's reading about fairy tales, and Pitt's series is like a parody of Greek mythology, so he's trying to read Greek myths, but he can't since he can't read, but he's too embarrassed to admit it. That's basically what I was going for in this image. Yeah, this one's kind of obvious. They're both from zombie games, so what else could I have done? They turned the Hulk into a rabbit. You could probably tell by its colors. Don't know what's with the hands, though. They look like claws. Well, what works for Venom works for Carnage, so here we have this. Except from a different angle, I guess. So, yeah. I even drew a picture of the two matchups fighting. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, Daredevil looks fine, but why is Nightwing's head so big? And what's with that haircut? There are a lot of weird haircuts in these videos. Again, I apologize to any fans of these characters. Also, why are they both leading so much? Like, Nightwing looks like he's about to fall over. Also, he's blending into the background because I made the brilliant decision to make his colors scheme the same color as the background. Never do that. Yeah, I guess they possessed a missile or something. I don't know. Yeah, I was just like, they can both possess things, so how about they both do it at the same time? And yeah, it sounded better in my head. A lot of these things sounded better in my head. They're standing at the remains of the certain building I had to censor earlier. If you know their personality, you'd probably know what it was by now. Yep. Thanos fusion. This was a real thing in the comics, by the way. This actually happened, but, I just can't get over this. I don't like the shade of purple I used in hindsight because it's too bright, you know? And I don't feel like enough of Darkseid's getting through here, you know? Because, yeah. So, yeah, that's who they were fighting earlier, by the way. Here we have a bunch of aquatic guys destroying an oil tanker. Wouldn't they just spill the oil into the water? Yes. Also, SpongeBob's here, so I guess this also technically means that it's the Aquaman and SpongeBob picture. Man, that was really a matchup that did, huh? I still can't believe that. Like, that is something I expect from Cartoon Fight Club, not them. But whatever, fine. The Mega Man's watching a sporting event, probably soccer. If you're a Mega Man fan, you'll get that joke. But, not a fan of Volnet's eyes. They look like they've seen some stuff. Okay, this one needs a lot of context. As I said with Doomsday and Hulk, villain and hero ones are the hardest ones to do, so I was just like,
what if there's like a hypnotic Black Widow thing whose bite caused you to become mindless? And yeah, that's what I did. And in hindsight, this was a very bad idea for a variety of reasons I do not want to get into, so let's just move on. The two Captain Marvels buying candy. Not much else to say here, except the candy could be more detailed, I guess. King Dedede and Wario sitting on a pile of gum drinking wine. Yeah, I don't have much else to say here. I just like King Dedede. There, I said it. However, this was kind of a sequel to the earlier one with the Emperor, and this time he's getting arrested. Yeah. I don't want to talk about this for long since I don't like talking about this fight. Ice skating. Yeah, some of these I don't have much to say. It was just, okay, they do this thing, and so they should do this thing. So yeah, ice skating. Here they are on the red carpet, I guess, because, you know, Johnny's a movie star, so I guess he invited Captain Falcon over here for something. I still find the setup to this fight very strange because he wants to fight him because he's playing him in a movie, and yeah. Imagine if when Bela Lugosi was cast as Dracula appeared and was like, "You have to fight me to prove you are worthy to play me." Yeah, that's what this fight feels like. But I'm not talking about the fights, I'm talking about the picture, so let's move on. Here's another one where I don't even get what was supposed to be happening. I guess they're combining a bunch of things into one. Yeah, why not? Why not? I quite like this one. It's just two guys. Yeah, it's just two guys motorcycling down the highway, enjoying the thrill of life. I still think Ghost Rider should have fought Spawn and Lobo should have fought Deadpool, but who wants my opinion? Okay, this one needs some context. Basically, there is this Power Rangers game for the Famicom, and after you beat a boss, you had to beat him at a minigame, and one of them was ping pong, so yeah, so that's what I decided to do here. Also, Mechagodzilla in this picture is literally just Godzilla from the Gamera picture, but recolored and with some details. I am so sorry to all kaiju fans for that, but I didn't want to have to redraw a Godzilla-like shape, so sorry. This one, I completely forgot what's supposed to be going on here. I guess fire, burning, and it's black. Yeah, yeah, like I said, I completely forgot what was going on in this picture. Dracula and Ganondorf are sharing wine. Or is it blood? Oh wait, it's probably blood because I do not drink wine. Man, why am I doing so many Dracula impressions now? I don't know. 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, that's the count. Okay, this is the stupidest one I did because they're floating trash. Why? Why? Was I so tapped for ideas that I was just like, yeah, let's just have it throw stuff away. Throwing stuff away. That's what I resorted to when I had no idea. Just characters throwing stuff away. Yeah, I was not tapped for ideas at all. Like I said, if I didn't know anything about either character, it led to pictures like this. So apologies to fans of these two for not having any ideas. I was just that adamant about doing research. Weightlifting. That's it. Alright, this one is pretty simple. Both characters like music, so they're just sitting here listening to a boombox, enjoying each other's company. Like with Peter Parker, I didn't want to do the webbing since, you know, I didn't feel confident in myself. And Static's hair is a bit weird. It's supposed to be dreadlocks, but I drew him upright for some reason. Whatever. I still like this picture. This one I was like, okay, they both have supersonic screams, so how about they record something together? Yeah. I still do like this one. They're walking through the sewer, but since Leo's a Ninja Turtle, he's used to it, but Red Ranger's all like, I don't like being in the sewer. Yeah, I know he's wearing a suit, so he probably couldn't feel it, but walking through a sewer is probably not pleasant for anything, so it's funny. I also like this one since, you know, his whole thing is that he's hunting down a cyborg, so War Machine comes back with Cyborg, but not... Okay, I'm sorry, laughing at you. I know I'm supposed to be roasting these, but I still do quite enjoy a few of them, though. Okay, here we have another bad one. I don't even remember what was supposed to be going on here. I think the implication was that they were putting on a play of Frozen, but yeah. What exactly was I going for here? Blech. Ugh, what is wrong here? Ugh, drawing forearms is harder than it looks, okay? Okay. The teeth. Ugh. I think they're supposed to be having an arm wrestling match, but why is Goro's back arm so... bad. This one, I forgot what they were supposed to be doing here. I think there was a time travel incident, but... yeah, that's all I got. Obi-Wan teaches the deadliest technique of them all, the high ground thing. Is it still fun to make prequel memes? It was when I made this, but I don't know anymore, okay? Another fusion, why not? I know neither of these characters can fuse, but who cares? It's my drawings, I can do whatever I want, so here we have a ghost dragon. They're eating ice cream because... yeah, why, actually? I guess I just ran out of ideas, so I was just like, eating. Why not? Also, that ice cream looks more like a cupcake. Okay, this one needs some context real quick. Okay, so, it was based on this image. Why did I draw this image? Well, you see, when I first started drawing these, when I got to season 7, I noticed that Beerus's fight hadn't come out yet. So, I noticed that everyone listed his opponent as just 3 question marks. So I made this image as a joke that was just like, oh, he's fighting this guy, question mark, question mark, question mark. So when the real fight came out, I had the actual opponents tearing him to shreds. Yeah. Roasting marshmallows of firepower. Yes. Alright, I know that it wasn't Kid Flash in the fight, it was Flash Wally West version, but as I said earlier, I was trying to do lore in this series for some reason, and since I was like, well, we already have Barry Flash, we can't have Wally Flash too, so I was just like, okay, he's still Kid Flash in this universe. Yes, I did this purely to stay consistent with a lore that I was barely even sure about, and that nobody who just clicked on this image would be aware of. So yeah, I know this is wrong, but I was trying to keep consistent with the completely arbitrary rule that I had nothing to do with. Yeah. Okay, this one also needs some context. Basically, first I drew these pictures. Batman and Robin, Captain America and Bucky, yeah. And then I drew this image, which depicts their current forms. You know. But then, when the actual fight came out, it turns out Winter Soldier was fighting Red Hood, which in hindsight makes a lot more sense. But, okay, look, I didn't know that, so... Anyway, I just drew this. He's envious of them. I don't know what he's watching. Is this a live feed or a picture? I don't know. I like this one. He's trying to look non-threatening, but when you have razor-sharp teeth and you're a big guy, yeah, it can be kind of hard to accomplish that. Werewolves howling at the moon. Not much else to say here, and the stars actually look better this time, if I don't say so myself. Yeah, for all the Spider-Man versus Batman fights, I just basically did a variation on the original pick. This time, they're both getting their picture taken together. Yay! I don't think it's a good idea to take a picture outside their mask, but whatever, yay! Cooking. Yeah. And another fusion. Yeah. When you're out of ideas, just fuse. Woo! Yeah, I remember when this happened. But then again, I didn't really give much thought to it since I wasn't a Star Wars fan, and in 2012 I had bigger things I was freaked out about. If you were there, you know what I was freaked out about. Yeah. You probably recognize this orange background. If you don't, then it was a meme. I don't want to talk about this. Let's move on. Another cake joke. I like it, though. I love supervillains doing petty things. Okay, I need more context for this one. So, I could not think of anything for these two to do. I had literally no ideas. But also, one vow I made for myself was that I would never draw Steven Universe characters because the fandom genuinely terrified me. So eventually I realized, wait, I know a compromise. So I kind of did both in one image. So, yeah. Why was I so terrified of the fandom? Well, there was an incident where people got a little cranky because the character was drawn off model, let's say. That's all I want to say. It was a pretty messed up incident. Fish. That's all I gotta say. You know, it's surprisingly hard to convert a 3D character into a 2D side view, as I realized with Poe, but I think I managed, and I have made a reference to the best scene in the movie where he and Shifu play dumpling hockey. Or, wait, was that what it was? Yeah, something like that. But it was a great scene. This was the last image I ever actually officially drew for this show. Yeah, I kind of gave up after Season 8 because, well, within Season 8, there were some fights where I was just like, who are these people? And I did not want to have to stretch out again, make another image of people floating garbage, so this was the point where I officially gave up and didn't draw it anymore. But some drawings I depicted beforehand have retroactively become main fights, so let's look at those. Here we have Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne, floundering around in some money. Yeah, not much else to say here, and it's kind of obvious, but yeah, I like it. I wanted to do a little pointing thing because I was mostly just thinking that it was me, so they're kind of both doing it to each other. By the way, this is the guy Mr.G was dressed as for Halloween. This one wasn't even a DBX. I just drew this because it seemed like a matchup they could do, and what do you know, they did do it. Look closer at the cans of soda they have, and you'll get the joke of this image. Yeah, I basically only had one idea of what I could do for Thor. Would Vegeta even be worthy? Would anyone I've drawn carrying it actually be worthy? I don't care, I just wanted to get these done, and this was the only thing I could think of. Sometimes true friendship is destroying planets together, because I guess that's what friends do sometimes. Okay, I would like to apologize to all Dragon Ball fans in my audience for this. Okay, let me explain. So you might have noticed that Trunks isn't doing anything, and that's because I thought he had telekinetic powers. Why? Okay, let me explain. So growing up, I always heard that Silver's a ripoff of Trunks of Dragon Ball, so when they said that, I thought they meant whole cloth, like ripped off everything, including power, so I was just like, well then Trunks must be telekinetic. He is not. So, I warned you I didn't do any research of these things, but this is probably the most blatant, so I am sorry. Really, I am. This is another one that wasn't based on a DBX or anything like that. I just felt like drawing it. Painting with blood. Why not? But other than that, that's about it, because because none of the Season 10 fights have had a retroactive picture or a canonizing status, so yeah, that's it for the main show. But hey, we still got DBX to look at, and oh boy, if you thought the main show ones were bad in some places, I was a bit apathetic when I made these ones, so they're even worse, I must warn you. Let's just get into these. Oh, by the way, I'm not showing the ones that got upgraded because I already showed them, okay? Okay. Off to a great start, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah. What does this have to do with either character? Good question. Why are the arms literally noodly? Good question. Off to a great start. They may be wondering what they're burning here. Well, they're actually burning the original Master Chief Doom Guy picture. Yeah, that's right. The one you saw earlier was actually the redraw. That right there, that's the original. I really do not like the original. It was just circles and a vaguely Animal Crossing-esque looking thing on a TV, but yeah, I realized that I was incredibly lazy, so I redrew it of the picture you saw earlier. I don't know why Jango Fett takes this seriously, but who knows? Now you might be thinking, hey, they never did this, and you're right. Basically, both of these two are fictional characters, but their opponents were real people, so I couldn't actually draw the fights as was. So instead I put them together. Yeah, see? I compromised. So now they're having a hamburger Kool-Aid picnic. Because why not? Although McDonald's hamburgers are usually flatter than that. Zing! I still remember when Jack DDD was revealed and everyone thought it was the funniest thing ever. Yeah. They just blew up that guy's head. Was he a good guy or bad guy? I don't know. Whatever. I think for this one I was trying to make it look like an album cover, but I'm not entirely sure why. I guess I was just that tapped for ideas. Oh, but if you think this is tapped for ideas, you have not seen the rest of these things. You know, sometimes I always forget Lucario is only like 4 feet tall, so yeah, this was kind of a picture making fun of that. You know, I didn't feel like drawing all 4 of his matchups for this series, so I just drew them all in one picture and made it like an Abbey Road reference. Why? I don't know. Still wasn't confident in my ability to draw Spider-Man's webbings. But, whatever. He's just checking, you know, to make sure. Pet the werewolf, because why not? This guy! I bet you're thinking, hey, aren't xenomorphs like incredibly toxic or something? Yes. I guess they're eating them just because. Maybe it's like a masochist meal or something. Also, woof, that Predator. Eesh. I kind of wish I did do Boba Fett versus Predator just so I could redeem myself, because what is that? Looks like a 5-year-old drew a Predator. That might just hold the record for the most what is that character I've drawn so far. Mega Man got an upgrade. I'm only now realizing that I never actually drew Tony Stark in the Iron Man armor. Like, all 3 fights involving him have always been outside of it. So, yeah, I only just now am realizing that I never actually drew the Iron Man armor. I drew the War Machine armor, though, so that's kind of close. I didn't feel like drawing what they were slicing, so I just put them from behind. I was that lazy. This was the first one I drew for this series. Yeah, it's fine. Although Greninja has tiny arms. Man, Link, this guy shows you his face in full confidence and you laugh at him. What's wrong with you? Hey, look at that. I actually tried to get Raiden's details this time. Yeah. And I gave Genji baby limbs. Yeah. I guess they're stuck to a magnet. Didn't I tell you I was tapped for ideas with this series? And hey, look, I got his hair color right this time. Hooray! Yeah, this one's kind of obvious. They're both like Americans. Okay, so they're saluting America. Yeah, it was kind of obvious, but it fits. This time Wolverine's the one getting his back scratched. I don't know how getting a back scratch from a... what's Raphael's weapon again? Is it a Sai? Yeah, a Sai. I don't know how getting your back scratched by a Sai would feel, but whatever. Wolverine's like immortal or something. Okay. As you can tell, I still had no idea what to do with Doomsday, so I guess they're just eating ice cream. This is another one that I wish was centered. Pretty sure their swords are supposed to be bigger than this. If you can't tell what's going on, it's, oh, they got their wrong sword from each other, ha ha ha. And there's a mix-up, ha ha ha. Also, that line around Cloud's hair will forever tick me off. Why did I publish it with that image? I'm not even gonna fix it. I want to remind myself of this stupid decision where I forgot to remove the line separating the hair. So now I have to live with it forever. Forever. Yeah, this was kind of cute. Mega Man is just giving him an E-tag while his brother Bomb Man is like, dude, I'm a big fan. Can I have your autograph? It's cute. It's cute. I like it. This one is purely, oh, their swords look like lightsabers, so let's have them watch Star Wars. Not funny. Fist bump. Not much else to say. You get it because Blaziken's a chicken, so he's being offered chicken feed. It was funnier at the time. I guess in this one, they're at the cleaners. Yeah, they're at cleaners. They're at the frickin' cleaners! That is how tapped for ideas I was. Don't have much to say here. I was just like, oh, okay, they both do yoga things, so let's just have them do yoga. This one's kind of cute, since they both have #1 dad mugs, because, you know, they're both fathers of a character, and yeah. Darth Vader's helmet, I guess I should have added separation, but this feels like overcorrecting for the last time I drew him. I guess Darth Vader's just a tricky character to get across in my art style. Okay, so since I did Goku and Superman fused, I drew the 2 DBX fighters that were like DC and Dragon Ball fused. Ta-da! Vampire fangirls, am I right? Now, they're twins. You ever notice how Kratos kind of looks like a peppermint in this image? And, why is he smiling? I guess Dante wants an autograph or something. Why? Who cares? This is why you don't lend your car keys to just any random Joe. Giving donations. Why? I guess after that gold, she was feeling a little generous or something. I don't know. This one's fine, but why is Chun-Li gray? Why is she gray? Why? This is one of those errors I'm not even going to bother correcting because I just want to be reminded of it. Why is she gray? Oh my gosh. It's a Thor picture that's not about someone lifting Mjolnir. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Lady, raise your bow and play the fiddle hard, cause Hellboy's now in Marvel and he doesn't deal with mobs. And if you win, you get a brand new trilogy to your name. But if you lose, there'll be a Hellboy 3. And now they're hammocks. You get it? Pinata, because one of them's wearing a blindfold? Yeah, that's really what I resorted to. They're just standing here! Standing! Yay! I told you I was tapped for ideas, didn't I? I told you I was tapped for ideas. Oh. But guess what? Boom! This one, the only idea I had was they swapped hair colors. That's really what I had to resort to. That's how tapped I was. Yes, really! Frickin' hair color swap. That is the level I was at. Oh, finally, another good one. It's just a good old-fashioned eat-off. I'm actually surprised Pac-Man hasn't been in the main show yet, since he's like one of the most famous characters ever. But whatever. Power swap! That's all I got. Another one where I was trying to make it look like an album cover. Why? You get it? They have white hair, so they're advertising white hair dye. Totally not running out of ideas, guys. Totally had plenty of ideas. Batman got Scorpion a new suit. He looks like a Gligar. Would you take up this offer? You know, funny story, I had just kind of assumed this was a main show fight, so when I was doing the original series, I ended up drawing up this picture, but then when I went to verify, I was just like, where's the fight? Didn't they do this fight? And I looked through the season lists like 20 times, and I was just like, where is it? Wait, I swear it was here! So it was just like, okay, I guess this isn't a real fight. Then I found out it was a DBX, so I was just like, oh, okay. So I just repurposed it for that. Cookie? The theater. Just two cartoon throwback characters watching a theater. Hey, look at Bendy's legs. Look at Bendy's legs. Those things are tiny. They're having the classic, oh, my dad could beat up your dad argument. Will say, though, not a fan of how Gohan looks here. What the hell is up with his hair? Whatever. E3, yeah! He's just checking, you know, making sure that it's real Sonic, you know. You get it? They're dressed up like their names. Do you get it? Get it? Well, I already did Venom possessing someone, didn't want to have to repeat that, so now he's just kind of like, I don't know, like messing with him. I don't know how to describe it, but Spawn doesn't look happy about this, so yeah. If I could put Trunks in a bottle, the first thing that I would do is to question what I was going for with this scenario. But there never seems to be answers to anything that I ever draw. Something. They found a group of strange hieroglyphs. Yeah. Catnip deal. Think Mewtwo's having some thoughts right now about his heritage. Well, when I can't think of ideas, I just have eating. Eating, yes! That's the way to do everything. If you're tapped out of ideas, just eat. Okay, I actually do like this one. It's just kind of cute. They're playing a hit fighting game for the Super Nintendo. Yes. Okay, yeah, I actually do like this one. It's on character. I like the creature they're fighting. Yeah. I'm actually still quite proud of this one. Well, if you're tapped for ideas, just, I don't know, have them be sushi chefs or something. Why not? Why not? Upgrades, people, upgrades. Nice. This one's just nice. Yeah, I was, kind of upset when I found out this was gonna be a fight, since I was just like, oh come on, who still references that stupid theory? So I kinda made this because I was mad at the fact they were doing it, so yeah. Playing hide and seek with ninjas, it's quite an experience. Okay, I didn't actually draw this one for DBX. It was just a one-off picture I drew, and lo and behold, they made it into a fight. So, yeah, not sure why Donald would want Bugs Bunny dead, but maybe he knows something we don't know. You get it? Because one of them is named Mustang, so they're driving in a Mustang. Do you get it? Okay, this one, it's pretty simple, but yeah, I've always enjoyed drawing fish, so I was just like, you know what? They go to an aquarium, because why not? Yeah. And finally, a good old-fashioned hero swap, where they take out each other's guy. Yeah, I didn't do any of the same franchise fights this time around because I just realized, why did I even do it for the original show? So this time around, I decided not to do it. So, yeah. Well, that's all for... Oh, wait, what? Oh, you're about to comment that I missed a bunch of fights from the main show? And even a few DBXs? Oh, I didn't forget them. I just decided to show them all together because they kind of form a single storyline. You see, one of the hardest combos for me to figure out what to do was fighting game versus fighting game characters. Why? I don't really know why. I guess because since they're fighting game characters, I just assumed, oh, okay, they must be fighting 24/7 then. So I was struggling for a while trying to figure out what fighting game characters could do together that wasn't fighting. Then I was like, okay, what if they are fighting, but it's like a tournament? And as such, for every fighting on fighting character, well, most of them, I did do a few that weren't related, like Sub-Zero Image, but for most of them, they were all part of a single unified storyline. So let's look through that now, shall we? Alright, first things first, Dan was not invited because he's just that pathetic. Plus he showed up with someone who's not even from a fighting game or a video game, so that's just even worse, dude. Meanwhile, you got people training for the fight. Oh, but a certain someone's mad because they promised he'd be his partner. And yes, that is supposed to be Jin. I don't blame you for not recognizing him. Because quite frankly, he might be the most off-model character I've ever drawn. He doesn't even have the right hair color. I'm not even gonna fix it. I want to live in shame for the rest of my life with this image. Because I want myself to be remembered of the time that I drew this. Meanwhile, these two are also banned for being too OP. Oh, and look at this, there's free food there. Are either of these characters even that into food? I don't know, and I don't care. Anyway, these two are salty they didn't win, so now they gotta drown their sorrows. And in third place, these two are not happy about it. Second place, that's a lot better. And first place, yeah! Uh-oh, looks like someone was late. Ooh, they missed it. Oh, but it turns out the whole thing was actually orchestrated. Ha ha ha. And unfortunately, there was a bit of a controversy, as these two are banned because Persona is not technically a traditional fighting game. And when word gets out about this, people are not happy. But luckily, a contract was signed guaranteeing that next year, anyone can enter regardless of game of origin. Well, that was all. And, oh wait, what? I'm missing more fights? Yes. Well, another thing you might have noticed are missing are the ones involving mechs. Let's just get those out of the way. Alright, they're saving a meteor. Not the worst idea ever. Except that I also did that for these two. And up here, they're fighting a creature inside the meteor. Eventually, the meteor breaks and the creature reveals its true self. So, why did I do this exactly? Well, it was a bit difficult to come up with scenarios for those two, those matchups, because, well, besides Optimus Prime, none of them are actually characters. They're suits used to fight. So, they're not really characters, so they can't really interact in the traditional sense. I know I could have drawn their pilots, but the fight specifically said it was the armors that were fighting, so bleh. Anyway, so yeah, that was basically the only idea I had. And with that is every picture I drew for this series. And no, I didn't do 1 Minute Melee because there were just way too many characters I had never heard of. And I didn't do Death Race because that show is one of the stupidest ideas anyone's ever had. If you didn't watch my video, then in a nutshell, no one has ever asked who would win in a race where you can kill your opponents. So as such, it was an incredibly niche series that had basically no appeal to anyone, and that is why it crashed and burned after only a few episodes. The end. I hope you enjoyed my romp through my past. Do I regret making these pictures? No, actually. Despite how embarrassed I am about most of them, a lot of them did teach me how to be a better artist, after all. They taught me what I shouldn't draw, and what I'm good at, and, what I should do about floors. I still don't get why I made so many floors so big. And with a certain one of them that I already showed earlier, it gave me inspiration for Eric. So, I don't regret these pictures at all, because as much as I don't like the show, I did quite enjoy making these pictures, and in a way I'm kind of sad I don't do these anymore, but considering how many I don't know either of you guys' character matchups they do nowadays, it's probably for the best, because then I'd probably have to resort to, I don't know, characters romping around in a field of flowers wearing crowns on the head while singing Kumbaya, because that's how tapped for ideas I am. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, I'll see you next time. Bye!